Have you ever wondered how easy it is to make your own homemade nut milk from scratch? Well, today I am going to show you. Hello and welcome. My name is Jackie and I love cooking from scratch. Today I'm going to walk you through the super simple process of making your own nut milk. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about what is required to make our own nut milk. And it's cool because it's super simple ingredients. All you need is 1 cup of nuts to 4 cups of waters. You'll also require a blender and a nut bag. Step number 1, we have to take our nuts, and in my case, I'm actually using almonds. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take our cup of almonds and we need to soak them in water for at least 6 to 8 hours. Here we have our almonds that have been soaking overnight or for at least 6 to 8 hours. Now what I'm going to do is get rid of the old water and rinse the almonds. Then we're going to take the almonds and we're going to put them into our blender. And we're going to add our water. Put the lid on the blender. I don't know if you're like me, but there has been some times where I have made some smoothies and the lid wasn't on properly and I had an explosion of green everywhere. Okay, now we're going to blend this. And I always recommend that when we're using our blender, we start at a very low setting and then we turn it up. So here goes. Okay, so the nuts are fully blended. You may be asking, why do we even need to soak our nuts before we do this process? 2 reasons actually. The first one is if you have a blender that doesn't have that high speed capacity, it just makes it easier to break it down. And number 2, soaked nuts are actually easier for us to digest. Now we are going to pour this into the nut bag. So I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to pour this in. It's going straight into the nut bag. And now what we do is we just squeeze it. We squeeze all of the liquid out into the bowl. And we just keep going. We just keep squeezing it out. And for this demo, I'm actually using almonds, but you can really use any nut of your choice. You can use cashews, you can use hazelnuts. You know, I don't even think that you can buy store-bought hazelnut milk, so that would be a real treat. You can even use coconut, shredded coconut. And you would use the same consistency. So it would be 1 cup of the nut that you like to 4 cups of water. Now, if you do decide to use cashews, you don't even need the nutbag process because it breaks it down in the blender to such an amazing consistency. And if you do try to do the coconut one, you also want to make sure, the same way that you do any nut, that you soak the coconut before doing this process. And actually doing the coconut would be fun because just think about it. You're reducing waste. You don't have to go out there and buy a can of coconut milk. You can make your own. And ta-da! Here is our almond milk. And now we can take the almond milk and pour it into our container. And there you have it. Now you have 4 cups of fresh almond milk. And I love this because we know the exact ingredients that went into this. 4 cups of water, 1 cup of almonds. Now if you wanted to, you could add a sweetener to this. I love it just like this. Sometimes I think we have too much sugar in our diets. And I read somewhere that the average American has 150 pounds of sugar a year. But if you did want it sweetened, what I would suggest is maybe add 1 or 2 dates to it, maybe a little bit of honey or maple syrup, or possibly some vanilla extract. You can experiment with that and kind of get to the flavoring that you like, but honestly, you have to give it a try with just the nuts and the water. It tastes delicious. Now you're probably wondering, what can I do with the leftover almond pulp? Well, a couple of things. You can toast it or dehydrate it, use it to make a gluten-free breadcrumbs, crackers, or you could even use it as a facial scrub. Making nut milk is a great dairy-free alternative, and I think that it should be a staple in everyone's home. I want to hear from you. Is this something that you think that you can do in your home? And what types of nuts are you going to experiment with to make your own nut milk? This channel is all about beauty, eating foods that keep us looking good and feeling good from the inside out. I hope you found value in this video, and if you did, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.